Hey, what's going on? This is Jason coming in. I'm very excited to be coming to you today from my beautiful home office in Southern California. Today I'm going to talk about just the mindset of an entrepreneur, just the kind of state of mind you have to have in order to achieve anything in this realm of working for yourself. A lot of people in this industry or in this niche or whenever you're doing anything for yourself as an entrepreneur, it's totally different because you've been conditioned for so long to trade time for money. I'll repeat that. You've been conditioned so long to trade time for money. You've been conditioned so long to trade time for money. And see, in the span of trading time for money, we just get comfortable with trading time for money. We know that if we show up to work, we're going to get a paycheck. We go to work, we get a paycheck. We go to work, we get a paycheck. But what this leads to is living a mediocre type life to where you're trapped in that go to work and get a paycheck. And if you venture outside of that, people think you're crazy because what do you mean? What if you don't get paid? Well, this is the roundabout fact of this, folks. Well, we're not designed to trade time for money. We're not designed to trade time for money. We're designed to live a life of abundance based on our God-given skills to work together to create something together, right? If you take things back to before the industrial age, right? It was we had the milkman, we had the person, the meat guy, the meat man. We had all these different people who do different things. They were all entrepreneurs, right? They all had their own niche, what they were good at, and provided services for us, right? And see, this was lost when we had factories and had factory workers. Well, the marketplace has really changed, right? The marketplace isn't the same. Jobs are gone. I was in Seattle, and even when I was in Miami too. I was in Seattle, and I walked up to try to check in and you may have seen this too, right? When you go to walk up to a flight attendant or walk up to check in for your flight, you're checking in with a piece of equipment, a stand-up computer that you put your credit card in, and it reads your information, and bam, it spits out your tickets. So where are these jobs going, right? I mean, what about when you call your credit card company and it's a robot that's saying, okay, press 1, and then they try to keep you in the loop of actually not speaking to someone in customer service. And then when you do get to someone in customer service, your wait's 5, 10, sometimes 15 minutes, sometimes 20 minutes. Well, see, folks, there's a shift in the marketplace right now, and this shift is jobs are not what they used to be. Jobs are not what they used to be, and it may not ever be that way again. So we as humans or as humanity we have to change our thinking. We have to change the way we see the world because this going to work, this waiting till Friday, this getting the paycheck, and then you have the weekend, you have a day to not think about work. But what are you thinking about? You're thinking about work. You have another day to do whatever it is you got to do on Sunday, and then Monday you're right back to it. Well, when you're in that realm, they give you just enough money to keep you satisfied, right? It's like you're a rat and you're just like dangling for that cheese, or a hamster. You're never gonna get ahead until you take some risk. Now, I'm not saying take a risk and just quit your job and do something, but you can start part-time in some instances and take a gamble, take a risk to do something. There's a story of a bear, right? This crazy bear, they trapped him, right, to put him in the zoo. They trapped this bear, and this bear would go freaking berserk trying to get out of this cage, right? They had him in this little cage, and this bear would just go berserk trying to get out. 3 months passed by, right? They would put it was a bowl of meat for a big steak out for the bear, and they get a stick and push the stick over to him, right? And the bear would grab it and start eating it. Well, 6 months go by, right? Well, the bear is more docile than he was in the beginning because he starts to think, well, you know what? No matter what, I'm gonna stay here. I'm gonna get my steak. So he's not as aggressive as he was before. A year goes by. He doesn't even move any longer. He's just gonna sit there and get fat and eat a steak, right? So folks, within this realm, this is what we're conditioned to be. We're actually trapped. There's a layer of fear in front of us that's not allowing us to go out and be ourselves. We are these unlimited beings of people, and we're being conditioned to not be what we're meant to be. We're conditioned to trade time for money. We're conditioned to just take what we have, these peanuts that they give us. We're conditioned for that, and we're not seeing what's beyond this. So back to the story. So a year goes by, and someone says, one of the zookeepers says, "Excuse me, drink a cup of coffee. I love coffee. G Life, baby. It's good stuff." So years goes by, and then someone says, one of the zookeepers says, "Well, what if we took the cage away?" And everyone's like, "No, we can't do that. The bear is he's gonna go berserk, buck wild, and kill everybody here in the zoo, right?" Nobody wants to do it. And then one of the zookeepers said, let's test it out and see. Well, they removed the cage. They put the meal where they would put it out before they would hide it with a stick, and the bear would not move. The bear stuck where he's at. He stayed where he was at. He didn't want to go any further because in his mind he was trapped. His mental muscle, his mental capabilities were locked behind bars because he had that level of he can't go any further anyways, so why should I even try? Why should I even try? Why should I even try to eat? Because I know they're going to give it to me anyways. So this is what we're trapped up in, folks. We're trapped up in this world of, oh my goodness, it doesn't matter what I do, Social Security, welfare, unemployment, having a job, having whatever, I just show up and I'm going to get paid. Well, what happened to your dreams? What happened to your imagination? What happened to your creativity? What happened to you being that person you wanted to be when you were 5 years old? Who told you couldn't be that person? That's me, folks. I was locked up in the job for 20 years, climbed up the corporate ladder, and just like that, they took it away from me. Just like that, they took it away from me. Right? So within that realm of what's going on in this world, we have to see and understand that you're not promised or guaranteed anything anyways, so why don't you develop some skills to make yourself valuable to the marketplace so you can do for self? This is what I call, folks, creating your own economy. Creating your own self. Creating your own beings. Creating your own personality. It's creating your income based on your skill level. And it's very easy to do. It's simple. Because we all have these God-given abilities, these all God-given skills to do whatever we want to do. It's just we forgot, and we were told we can't do things when we were a kid, so we didn't develop this. And we forgot about it. And we didn't want to progress and move any further because we were conditioned to go to school. We were conditioned at, so say go to 8, conditioned at 10, you hear a bell, you have recess, right? You hear a bell, you go back. We were conditioned like hamsters. You hear a bell, you have lunch, you hear a bell, you come back, you hear a bell, you go home, right? It just kind of reminds me of the old Flintstones cartoons where yabba dabba doo, they hit the little buzzer and he'd be happy to be off work. Oh, I'm gonna go home and woman, woo, right? They got us trapped in a box. They put a layer of fear between us, so we can't see the world for what it is. We're out here struggling for $11, $12, $13 an hour jobs, right? That's not really going to pay us anything. I mean, realistically, right? $10 an hour if you work for a week full time, that's what, about $300 a week, maybe a little bit more than that, maybe $500 a week. I don't know. I'm not a good mathematician. I do love math though, right? I love quantum physics also, but. Think about that, right? So you're gonna work minimum wage and really not gonna make that much money anyways, right? So I mean, realistically, what is an extra $500 to your life? What is an extra $1,000 to your life? What is an extra $2,000 to your life? What is an extra $3,000 a month to your life? What does that mean to you? What does anything mean to you? What does it mean going to work? What does that mean? What does that mean to you? What is the purpose behind what you're doing? What is the purpose behind you going to work? What is the purpose behind you waking up in the morning and you jumping in the car, taking a shower, jumping in the car, and going to work? A lot of people can't find purpose in that. And they're stuck in the, I can't find any purpose, so I'm just going to do what I'm conditioned to do because this is what I'm comfortable with. And if you look at any of the successful entrepreneurs or anybody out there, they think differently. They have an ability to create things just like that. They have the ability to do different. And really, what it comes down to is you speak your existence. What comes out of your mouth is what you create your life to be, right? So if you're stuck and thinking about, oh my God, how am I going to pay this bill? How am I going to pay this bill? Or I have these issues, or I have these problems, and you're consistently thinking about your problems, well, you have to recondition your problems and make them a challenge. Okay, and then ask yourself the question, how can I get over this challenge? How can I? Start asking yourself all these questions, because it triggers something in your mind that helps you seek and find that. See, what a lot of us don't know is that we're conditioned, we're actually set up to, this is our mass computer system. We are our own Google. We don't need Google. We are our own Google, right? So if you put your focus on something, your mind will find that for you. You just have to pay attention to what's around you. Good example. I was in Seattle, and we're driving to the airport, and I was in the back of a taxi cab, and it was traffic, downtown traffic. It was a mess. I had to get to the train station so I can take the train up to the airport. Seattle has a awesome public transportation system. Great. I think I love just doing different things and taking buses, and so I took the bus all around Seattle and seen a lot of the city. It was great. But back to the story. So I was in the cab, and I was waiting. I was looking, and we were stuck, and I was waiting. I don't know, for some reason, I looked behind me, and I seen this black Mercedes. Beautiful, beautiful. I think it was Mercedes 360 or 7 Series Mercedes. Beautiful, beautiful looking car. Beautiful looking car. And I thought, you know what? I said, I want that car. Something told me, said, you know what? I want that car. And I'm not big on materialistic things or cars or anything like that. I like watches, but I'm not big on like materialistic things. But something inside me said that I want that car. So, but I said I want it in white. So I fly back, I get back home, and all I start to see are white Mercedes, right? And then a month later, I moved to a different location to where I'm at today, and I'm driving around the city, this new city that I'm in, I'm seeing nothing but white Mercedes. At one instance, I was at Albertsons, and I was parked, I was on the telephone, and I looked up, and there are 4 white Mercedes around me, right? How does that happen? It's like bees attracted to honey, or a bear attracted to honey. How does that happen, right? I mean, so that told me, well, yeah, I'm going to have that car, I'm going to have that car. But see, my brain searched and found that for me, and it made apparent what I wanted, right? Now I just got to bring that stuff to me. I got to attract it to me. I have to allow it to happen. So that's just a little course in just how we think and how the mind works. So how does it help you in business, right? I mean, we all have challenges. We all been through stuff. We're actually all going through things. I do every day. I transformed myself from the person that I was before. I was just a constantly worrier, always worried about something, always creating my own problems based on my own thoughts, based on how I spoke, based on how I presented myself, based on how I lived my life. I created a universe around me that was just horrible, and led me to do some bad things and down some different paths. And in this world of corporate greed, basically what it comes down to is me as a person being a person that wants to help other people, right? Working with somebody, because everyone has different skills. So when you're in management, if you look at your crew and who you have, and you start to plan your day based on who you have, you know who can do what, right? So you put them, it's like you like being a football coach, putting them in the best positions for their success. Well, these people were all like, oh, you got to write them up, you got to do this, you got to do that, and blah, 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 blah. Well, yeah, sometimes that's warranted, right? But to scold a person for something that he can't do correctly, and he's trying to do it correctly, and you're aiding him in actually trying to coach him up a little bit, instead of putting him in a position for his success, that's failure from upper management, right? It's not with who I am. And then they get just beat up on for being helpful to somebody else, to get beat up on for being yourself, to get beat up on for stuff that's out of your control, right? I don't kiss any ass, never kissed any ass before in my life. So why am I going to start now, right? Why am I going to start then? Why am I going to start now? I'm just speaking the truth to you folks. And if you want anything in life, you have to work hard for it. You have to work for it. So when I left, when I was kicked out, when I left, I said, you know what? I am never going to work again in my life. And what I do now, I don't consider work. I consider it a passion, because not only do I get to speak my word to people, but I get to kind of re-educate myself in personal development and I became a different person because of that. I actually found a different me. I found the me I should have been when I was a teenager coming up, or even before that, when I was in elementary school. You know, I found who my sole purpose in life. And really what it comes down to is my business model is to change the concept or thought of home-based industry, because there's so much bad information out there about the home-based business industry that it gets a bad rap because the training is horrible. And so my mission is to train individuals, to uplift them and to uplift this industry as if it was a corporate 500 type, because it is big business anyways, right? And a lot of the, say, newer associates are so misguided in what they're doing that they need help, they need proper training, they need to know how to carry themselves. They can't walk around to your aunts, cousins, and sisters and brothers and say, join my business, because that was me. You know, I was sitting there in a suit, walking around just wherever, Walmart, Costco, Sears, the mall. I was even on an online dating site trying to, not necessarily scheme for dates, but scheme for people to buy my product, right? Yeah, right. So, and that's just totally wrong. And I knew it was wrong. I knew there was something wrong with it. And I actually found the system that creates just the proper training. You plug into this system, it gives you everything you need to set yourself apart from anybody else in this space. It allows you to be who you are. It develops you as a person so that you can overcome any obstacles in the way. It changes your whole aspect of how you look at the world, right? This blinders that we have in front of us, over time it just starts to reveal itself and disappear. And you see things for as they really are, and not how you think they are. Powerful stuff. Powerful stuff. You plug into the system and, it does for you. You do for it. You just follow the 3 steps and you're done, right? It's very easy, very simple. But besides that, the personal development thing is key, not only in the business life, but even in personal life too. I mean, if you work more on yourself and develop yourself, if you just look at it as an education of your soul, so you can find your true purpose. So in this realm of me leaving and finding this industry and being able to expand my horizons even beyond business, it's been a blessing and a godsend. I can't be any more grateful to it or for it, and I continue to work every day to get better in business, in life, and within myself too. And so I don't have to go through any of those trials and tribulations that a lot of us are going through right now. We're all stuck in this problem atmosphere. Well, it doesn't have to be a problem atmosphere. It can be an atmosphere of abundance. It can be an atmosphere of you having what you want. It can be an atmosphere of you becoming the person you were meant to be. It can become an atmosphere of you finding your true purpose in life and you giving value at all time. It's not a money thing, because money is pure energy and it's transferable all the time. You have to allow it to attract to you. So it's never a money thing. Well, I'm sorry, it is a money thing, because we do like the money, right? I ain't gonna lie about that. But to detach myself from the money, it's more of, I want to help others. I want to help others. I want to help others see and create a life for themselves based on the skills that they have. I want to help others have what they want and always know that they don't need somebody else to create something for themselves. In this realm of the marketplace and where it's going, and the way jobs have been, industry is changing. Industry has changed, and it may not be the same again. And we're in a shift to where we have to see things a little bit differently. And so when you see something different, you have to do something a little bit differently. And if you're not doing anything differently, you're just the same. And if you're the same, you're not growing, you're actually dying. So if you're not feeding yourself information, if you're not feeding yourself nourishment of whatever you want to feed yourself, if it's a book, if it's an audio, if it's whatever it may be, you're slowly digressing as a person. You're not growing, right? You're not that tree that's going to grow to its full potential. And with that, we as humans on this earth, we have the potential to do whatever it is we want to do. You have to believe that, right? Think about it. A tree grows as tall as it can, right? Grass grows as long as it can. A tiger is going to eat a gazelle as long as it can, right? Unless the gazelle can get away. But in the whole natural things, us humans have the potential, because we are the rulers of this planet, we have the potential to be so much more and to give so much more that we're giving right now. But we're stuck in that, I got to go to work, I'm going to go home and watch TV, and I'm going to go to bed, and I'm going to think about my problems the whole day, and I'm going to think about what's wrong the whole day, and not from the aspect of, okay, well, I need to do something a little bit different to create a different outcome for myself. You know what? Things don't change unless you change, and things won't get better until you get better. Things don't change until you change. Things won't get better until you get better, right? You can't. Change is simple. It starts with a simple decision, right? When you make that decision, the whole world opens up to you. It's the power of ambition and wanting to have and create something more for yourself than you have. It's possible. It's going to take work. You can do it. I believe in you. If you need my support, contact me. I will give you all the support you need. Change is simple. It's a simple decision to make change. And the reason why you still be listening to this is because, maybe you need some change in your life. Maybe things aren't going the way you want them to go. Maybe you're caught in a situation to where you don't know what to do. Maybe you're caught in a situation to where, you're looking at it like, oh my God, this is so insurmountable. But it isn't. Nothing is insurmountable. It just is what it is. You're making it bigger than what it actually is, right? And when you start to do that, that problem grows more than you grow, right? And a big thing in what I like to do in personal development is grow myself, so the problems that are in front of me, they're little. I have my arms, I have my legs, I have my mental capabilities, I have the ability to walk down the street where a lot of other people don't, right? And so we get caught up in this pity party and thinking about ourselves and our own problems. Well, what about the gentleman over here in the wheelchair? What about the person over here who can't see, right? You always have to compare what you're going through to what someone else is going through, because it ain't that bad. If you got bills, we all have bills, right? If you have issues with your spouse, everybody has issues with your spouse. If you have kids who are growing up and they're just going too fast, if they're 9 going on 16, everybody's going through that. And there's so much help out there. Just got to lend a hand. We all have to start to lock arms together, lend a hand to each other, and create something great with each other, because we can do that united. Unity is powerful. But so many times they focus on what divides us as race, as sexual orientation, as skill sets, as I'm better than you, or anything like that. And it's not about me being or anybody being better than anybody else, because just as anybody is doing anything, you could do the same thing. if you so choose to. If you make the decision to do that, if you make the decision to come from a place of I'm going to give and not take, if you make the decision I'm going to help the person next to me, if you make the decision, so it's like, yes, I'm going to create change in my life. If you make the decision to come from a place of love and abundance, if you make the decision and you want to make a change in your life, you can make the change in life. It's very simple. It's to say I'm going to change something, and changing one thing is a snowball effect across the board, changing everything you need and can desire to be. It's just up to you to want to do that. It's up to you to want to make that change. It's up to you to want to believe that you can do something more greater than what you can even imagine, because we all have the capabilities, the possibilities to do that once we find purpose. And once we find purpose, the world opens up so many more doors to you, and you can have, do, say, eat an abundance of things if you so choose to, right? So I'm going to end it there. You know, I set this just ridiculous goal that I'm going to make $100,000 in 90 days, and I'm just going to keep on shooting these videos to put my word out there, to put my message out there to the world that you can do and be whatever you want to be if you make the decision and choose to, and can be committed to that decision that you make. And if you want to lock arms with me and join forces with me, and if you want to know more about how I'm going to make 100K in 90 days and what I'm doing to do that, besides shooting videos, there's a description box. There's a link. Click that link right there. It leads you to some information that you can use and cherish and plug into the system to where we can lock arms together, join forces together, fight the forces of evil, and create the change that you're looking for in your life, right? Transform yourself with your own skills, your own desires, this own mechanism that we have in what I call our brain. We have the mental muscle within us to do anything, but you got to be able to tap into that. And it starts with making a decision. So make that decision today. Let's create some change. Let's create waves in the marketplace so we can do something great together. I'm going to sign out. Jason, peace.